This is where the fun begins.
And I've always leaned towards if we're going to create something, we should check and see if it existed already to the fans, because it has way more value if we bring that in. And it's like, why would I just replace it with something new? So if we're going to do an admiral, if we're going to do a big military leader, yeah, I could create a new guy, sure. But what about Thrawn? Thrawn is great. Thrawn is a character we all know. Thrawn has a lot of credibility. So then you ask yourself, is it right to use him? And can we use him in a way that's similar to the books? Or are we using him and it's going to go completely into left field? And there have been times when we wanted to use things from the EU, and I was like, yeah, but we can't use it that way, so why? I don't want to use it and change it. You know, I don't want to use it and make it something completely different. That's rude.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel once again, OG Star Wars. I am your host, Alora Baga, and I'm so excited to be here with you in an impromptu live stream. I decided to do this instead of making a video because it's a lot easier right now. I'm very busy. It's the holidays. And so let's do a Cantina Nights chat. Yeah, so here we are. There's two major topics that I want to get into today. One is about the revisionist history of the X-Wing series and how this is changing the perception on how maybe you guys, or not you guys, but fans or people viewing the X-Wing series and what they're about. And also how Filoni, or not how Filoni, but Filoni does not know who the hell Thrawn is. And we'll get into that as well. But in the meantime, share this out on your social media. Let them know we're live. Again, this is impromptu Cantina Nights chat, our Cantina Night chat. And so please let people know we're live here and press that like button. And if you're catching the replay, please leave a comment below and let me know you're here. Please let your friends, your fellow Star Wars friends know about this channel as well. And I do have people popping on. Again, this is impromptu. And I was creating a PowerPoint because that's what I do. And then my computer decided to not respond to the through the Chrome browser. So I was having a hard time uploading this PowerPoint that I'm going to be sharing with images of the X-Wing series versus the Essential Legends X-Wing series. So I'm going to go ahead and just share it off of just my regular computer. And so that's what I was playing around with. And then everything went to hell and I had to restart the computer. And here we are, a little bit late. But thank you guys for popping in. I have Soul Assassin here. Smash the like button and share the stream out. And then Jim the Despot is here, another channel member. Finally, I get to click that skip the ads. Yeah, I'm glad you did. And it says, eat your heart out, Filoni. You make cowboys everywhere look bad. And then we have Zyron, the gamer. Hello. And I don't think I've ever came across you on my channel. If I haven't, I don't recall. I'm sorry, but thank you for popping in and listening in. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Become a channel member too if you haven't already. Last Cantina chat, I forgot to talk to channel members or just get out what days are that could be work for everybody. I think I'll do that privately with the channel members. So stay tuned for that here pretty soon. So we can watch Clone Wars 03 Volume 2 together. And I will have Soul Assassin in again, once again, to mod as well. You know, he's not a channel member, but he's a great help, and I greatly appreciate everything he does for the channel, and also our quirky back and forths in DMs about what's going on with the state of Star Wars. Yeah, so let me see here. And this is X-Wing audiobooks. There you go. So there, let me go ahead and share. See how well this shares. Because I tried to upload my slides, and again, my browser was acting like a complete bitch. So let me see, how can I do this? I haven't shared it this way before, so we are going to give it a try. Share. So, Okay, so here we go. Not exactly how I want to share this, but nonetheless, here we are. So you could see how much of a nerd I am with doing something like this. And you guys who are not new to the channel already know that I like to share content like this. I will prepare. Let me go ahead and just share the whole screen. There we go. Awesome. So again, the nerdy side of me, that's what you guys are viewing. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. There we go. All right. So this stream is about education, about making you guys aware of what's going on with how Disney Lucasfilm is making people view not only the movies through the revisionist history on how they're using their own content to reinterpret what George created, but also how you interpret the original EU. Now, the X-Wing series, it's 10-book series. X-Wing Mercy Kill came out about 2012, so it's the last installment of the series. That's why it's not in this 9 little tier block here, but it is the 10th one in there, and it's on the side there. So everything that came out regarding, these adventures of the starfighters, whether it's in the comics, whether it's in the novels, they were related to as X-Wing series. And that's for a reason, because, and mind you, not all pilots were X-Wing pilots within the squadron. Sometimes they flew different starfighters depending on the type of conflict they're going into. And that's an interesting topic to even talk about, is what starfighters were more important per conflict and per their capability. But that's another topic. I'm always come up with these crazy topics, and it's like I'm writing them down, or Soul Assassin's keeping track of that, and then feeding into what should be given to you guys fans as lore history. But this is about, paying close attention to this revisionist history. And if you guys have been paying attention on social media, you will see that, the Wraith Squadron book came out as a part of the Essential Legends. And now it is book 1 of the Wraith Squadron, which is something that's not really what that was about. So with that being said, we're going to get into the history a little bit about X-Wing series. You can let me know which one of the novels is your most favorite of the series before we get into some more of what's going on in the Star Wars news today. Star Wars X-Wing series was envisioned as Star Wars meets Top Gun. So we all kind of knew that this was a Top Gun. And when you look at the covers, you basically see that as well, because it's not just about the individuals. It's about the campaigns that happened during that time. Like when you look at Back to War, you see on the cover there, that's probably above Tythera, more than likely, and you have that going on. And then we have Wedge's Gamble, which basically is, the liberation of Coruscant. So you have the battle for Coruscant as well. Or was it Krytos Trap? I think it was Krytos Trap. I'm sorry. But anyways, you know what I'm saying about this. They're action-packed covers. You do, like they say, you eat with your eyes, you read with your eyes. So it is very important, especially, as an artist, if it's appealing to the eyes, catches your interest, you're gonna, probably have, I won't say fall in love, but like the product even more, or be more curious. And that's what book covers were about. Today, it feels like they're so minimum that, you don't even get the gist of what is going on inside the cover. But with the X-Wing series, you look at every single cover. Mind you, the X-Wing Mercy Kill is showing a little bit of evolution of going into this new modern simpleton type art for the cover. Even though it has the X-Wings and stuff in front of it, or conflict in front of it, it's very different than what you see in the first 9 books. So basically, the first 4 books are by Michael Stackpole, and it's related to the events of the New Republic's strike to retake the Imperial capital of Coruscant and the machinations of Isani Isard to bring about the New Republic defeat. The following 3 books of Aaron Alston relate to New Republic's campaign against the Imperial warlord Zinj. The events of the trilogy led directly into the courtship of Princess Leia. So you kind of give a continuity tie-in right there, the courtship of Princess Leia, what's going on within the time frame, which they were very careful about to make sure that, all these books, all these events that happened in the historical timeline of Star Wars, correlated with each other, went well into each other historical wise. And so a little bit of history there. So Aaron Alston and Michael A. Stackpole were brilliant writing these series. And where Michael left off at, Aaron picked up on just seamlessly. The series is basically a continuous story of basically mopping up, taking back Coruscant, mopping up all this remnants, Imperial remnants. And this all does lead towards the Thrawn trilogy. And the next 3 books all serve as standalone stories. Isard's Revenge overlap with the end. So standalone, basically, that means they don't belong to a trilogy, but they do belong to the overall series. So stories. Isard's Revenge overlaps with the end of The Last Command, recounts the conflict between the New Republic and Keurig Hagumi. Unlike the previous books in the series, it has many connections with the Star Wars X-Wing's Rogue Squadron comic series. So those who are very privy to the comic series, you might see some tie-ins or some callbacks or whatever continuity threads going on there. And I know that there are some things that weren't too sewn up really well continuity-wise. That could be another topic, and serves as an informal epilogue to some of the plot from the series. Starfighters of Adumar has an entirely self-contained plot. It tells of the New Republic mission to a neutral world of Adumar to negotiate the entry into the New Republic. So we kind of see exactly what's going on with the New Republic and bringing in new systems or new planets to join the New Republic. And so it gives us a glimpse of the world, or the building of the government, and building up and reconstructing the government and the galaxy all together. Great book there. And Mercy Kills, the very last one, like I said, it was published during the buyout. And I don't think it's gotten much praisal, or wasn't really sought out or as popular as the first 9. It was 30 years after the previous books and features both new and returning characters. It's a return to Wraith Squadron, and the team investigates a corrupted general. So those of you guys who know, are privy, are very well read in the EU, will also know that the Wraith Squadron was mentioned in Tatooine Ghost and other sources as well. They were the quirky group of people, people of different species and stuff that Wedge, brought in together to be spies on top of fighters. And so that was a very, very awesome group of people to read about as well. And I'm going to see what you guys are saying here. So let me see, how do I get out of here? Whoops. Let me go back. Okay, there we go. Go back on this one here. Like I said, this is not exactly how I wanted this to go out, but that's okay. So let me see what you guys have to say here. I know have people popping in, and thank you guys for joining in. Jim says, I haven't read any of the X-Wing books, as none of the physical copies are in my bookshelf. Yeah, and I would say, join my community. I will go ahead and share a link out to how you can purchase these books. I do have some books for sale. Some of them do have the Legends cover, though some of them don't. So I may put that out for you guys to see if you guys want to pick up some of those books. And then we have Steezo here. Howdy, y'all. How are you doing? And there's Matt Wilkins' review of X-Wing Squad Comics. There you go. Thank you. And go ahead and subscribe to Matt Wilkins. And Devious Lord, what's up? So we have the Knights of Malvin's all piling in here. Thank you guys for your continued support. Greetings, Knights and friends. And how are you doing? Matt G, how are you doing? All right. So this is the beginning. This is just a bit of the history of the X-Wing series here. Now, why am I pointing out this revisionist history? We're going to get into this right now. So we have, most of you guys know, there is now a branding called the Essential Legends Collection. So whether Disney Lucasfilm feel these books are important to maybe their timeline or just into the original EU, I have no idea. I never read further into why they decided to take the legends and put them into these Essential Legends collection label. To me, every single one of the EU, even if I don't like it, is important because it builds upon the history of Star Wars. Now you can see a comparison here between the original covers. Like I said, you read with your eyes. You see this adventure going on in front of you of the original covers, and you're like, I want to know what's going on, versus these simplistic images of the covers here on these labeled ones where you don't really know what's going on. And if you're like me, I read with my eyes. And and that's like true with food. You eat with your eyes first, you read with your eyes first. If you see an attractive cover and it gives you an idea of something going on, it's going to make you curious to see exactly what's going on and wanting to read into it. So that's the huge difference. I hate the simplistic covers here because it doesn't give you an idea what's really going on. Like you see Isani Isar, which that to me does not look like her whatsoever. Kaito's Trap, and then her image, you don't know what that's about. What the hell is Kaito's Trap? But then when you look at the Kaito's Trap down there, you see a building, you see a conflict, they're fighting and stuff, and you're like, okay, Kaito's Trap. Is that the trap? What's going on? And so you're going to, and of course, you'll find out what it is about. Then you're going to pick it up. Just like with the Back to War, you have the Imperial fighter there. And you have the, the TIE fighters, or the eyeballs right there, if you know what I'm talking about. And then you have the original cover where there's a conflict. You see the Star Destroyer. You might know what that is about. You might know what the Star Destroyer there is. And so you're going to pick it up. Okay, I want to know what's going on. Like, what happened here? Versus just seeing the person in the helmet. It's not very attractive whatsoever. Now, this is just what I read into. This is what I'm giving you as an example of, like, I like to look at things. I want to be curious by them. I want something to share something with me to where I want to pick up that book and read further as well. And then the very newest one put into this collection is the Wraith Squadron. So if you see the first four there, they're all labeled. I talked about this before. They're all labeled Rogue Squadron, the first four. Book 1, 2, 3, 4 of Rogue Squadron. Do you notice the change there? On the bottom, the original covers, it says X-Wing, Rogue Squadron, X-Wing, Wedge's Gamble, X-Wing, the Kaito's Trap, and X-Wing, the Back to War. And it basically says on top, book 1 of the exciting new series, book 2 of the exciting new series, book 3 of this exciting new series, and book 4 of the exciting new series. So then you move on to Wraith Squadron. And, this is where Aaron Alston comes in and starts adding to the series. And it says Wraith Squadron, book 1 of Wraith Squadron. It's not a separate series. Wraith Squadron is just book 5 of the X-Wing series, as you can see in the original cover. Book 5 of the exciting Star Wars X-Wing Wraith Squadron. So this is the 5th installment. It's all one continuous story here. And let me go further on this. So here again. So a little bit bigger here. So Wraith Squadron, book 1 of the Wraith Squadron series by Aaron Alston versus book 5 in the exciting Star Wars series, Star Wars X-Wing. And so we have that. So that's the difference. And so why am I calling this revisionist history? Because they are focusing on a beloved series, changing the structure of it. And it can be confusing to others. It's ripping up this whole story, I wouldn't say the seamless timeline story of the X-Wings here. And it's changing the dynamics of the original content in a sense. And the reason why they're doing this is that they already gotten away with a lot of this revisionist history because no one's speaking up about it. Myself, and then those that I've been on with the spacing with, I wouldn't say those like it's just casually, but Tim, even Greg and Blake, and a few others that I've talked with as well, have been noticing, have been letting you guys know of this revisionist history. And then you have Filoni saying, like I played in the beginning of my stream when I went live, it's him discussing that they want it's to change things is bad, I guess you could say. It's dishonest. There we go. Better wording. And they wouldn't want to do that. They wouldn't want to change things because it's being dishonest towards the material. But here we go. They're being dishonest. And people are more excited about, and so they're not really calling this shit out because they're getting an unabridged version of the story. So it's like, oh, well, I'm getting this here, so I'll just, well, it's okay. It's all right because they're giving me this. So when do we stop bending over for that little bit of gem and call out the bullshit? Saying, I don't give a shit that you're giving me an unabridged audiobook of this. I'm not falling for this bullshit, so I'm not going to worry about the unabridged audio version of this. I'm tired of your revisionist history. When are we going to stop allowing them to feed us the shit and calling it chocolate when it's not really fucking chocolate, and call this shit out? It's like they sprinkle shit or put sprinkles on shit and everybody's fucking happy. And this is what I'm calling this is the same thing. This is the shit under the Essential Legends collection, and the audiobook is the sprinkles on there. And so everybody's all happy. Ooh, I got sprinkles. I will tolerate this shit. So when are we going to stop playing this bullshit and calling this out? Because they said they want to honor the past, right? They want to honor what came before. Yet they're changing everything. This is now where they're meddling into the original EU, the original lore of the EU. So when are you going to scrape all that, or just not even do that? Just toss that shit away with the sprinkles and start calling this shit out. So this is what I want to discuss, So, and I have, made aware of this before. I made a video on this. But these Essential Legends collections, with their reprint, they are taking out the author's acknowledgments. And even some of the short stories. Some of these books, some of these original EU books have short stories in there. Some of them do, not all, or they have a little bit of the story from another book to get you excited for another book within their EU, right? But they're taking that out. They're taking out the acknowledgments from the author. And from what I'm told, and I need to go investigate further, but I had a couple people reach out to me not even a few months ago and was saying that there are certain context taken out of some of these books. So I have to go back and investigate, and then I'll report on that and confirm that. But I would be very wary about what's going on here. Not only that they're splitting up and making these series look like they're two different series, they're recreating these series for whatever reason, but they're also taking out the acknowledgments and then possibly changing some context in there. So again, I will go ahead and take a look at that and follow up with you guys. So let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see here. And we have 5 beautiful souls here. So thank you for joining in. Again, this is during a weekday. It is Tuesday at 1:45 p.m. where I'm at. So Soul Assassin says you can only save a Wookiee so many times. I don't know what that's about. Let me see here. I suspect that Legends banner book back when I saw they made a Revan look female on his cover. Correct. And this is where everybody needs to, sit back and be very suspicious on what's really going on. Because if you really want these books, you don't need to buy them reproduced, redone under this Legends banner. You could still find them without the Legends banner. And myself, Tim, Matt Wilkins, there's a few of us, even Ryan, I believe, will, may be able to point you to the right direction on where you can find them. But like I said before, feel free to look around at your local bookstores, secondhand stores, and sometimes even antique stores. Well, like if they have a book section in an antique store, look there. And I do have someone that popped in here as well. Let me see who popped in here. Hi, so Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. How are you doing? Yeah, so be aware of this. They are now splitting up the series, which I was very suspicious about. I have talked about this. Okay, so are they going to call, and I questioned this in the beginning, are they going to call everything, the whole series, Rogue Squadron series? Or are they going to split it up? And so they end up splitting it up here. And this cover here with Wedge, and I'm guessing that's Akbar, it's not attractive. And it's to me, that's not even what Wraith Squadron looks like to me. When you look at the original book cover with Wraith Squadron, you're like, okay, so that's Wraith Squadron on a mission. What's going on there? I want to read more. So again, you read with your eyes. And pawn shops, especially around military bases, are good to find stuff. Correct. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out here. We're going to get into a little article from Empire that came out with Dave Filoni. But in the first place, or before then, not in the first place, let's go ahead and listen to this one more time.
And I've always leaned towards if we're going to create something, we should check and see if it existed already to the fans, because it has way more value if we bring that in. And It's like, why would I just replace it with something new? So if we're going to do an admiral, if we're going to do a big military leader, yeah, I could create a new guy, sure. But what about Thrawn? Thrawn is great. Thrawn is a character we all know. Thrawn has a lot of credibility. So then you ask yourself, is it right to use him? And can we use him in a way that's similar to the books? Or are we using him and it's going to go completely into left field? And there have been times when we wanted to use things from the EU, and I was like, yeah, but we can't use it that way, so why? I don't want to use it and change it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to use it and make it something completely different. That's rude.
All right, so we have this here. Notice what he said. If you change things, it's rude. Well, look what they're fucking doing to the X-Wing series. That's fucking rude, right? They don't give a shit. He's talking out of his fucking ass. And yes, I am cussing here today. Hello, everyone. And hey, so I'm Sith Assassin Trayla. How are you doing? Glad you are here with us. You just missed the Wraith X-Wing series conversation here. And E.Clay Thomson. Weirdo. Yes, I know that. Weirdo. So this is from Empire. So this is only a small clip of his interview in Empire magazine. And it's Dave Filoni teases Thrawn future in Star Wars. His foil throughout Rebels was Hera. This is an exclusive. But I'm not focusing on who his foil is. I can give a shit about that. I'm going to focus on a sentence here. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get into this. Let me go ahead and get out of that. There we go. All right. So this is a very short article here. That's as long as it is. But I'm going to go ahead and read it all to you guys just because. So at the start of 2023, nobody knew we were getting a live action Thrawn in Star Wars. I think everybody pretty much was right and knew that, in the start of 2023 that Thrawn was going to come back with all these rumors of like this Heir to the Empire remake bullshit. But at Star Wars Celebration, Dave Filoni unveiled the big news. Not only was the Grand Admiral so beloved from various canon, so original Star Wars and Disney novels, and from Star Wars Rebels, which is Disney era, stepping into Ahsoka, but he would be played by Lars. So we already know this, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to skip all that. As for what his plan actually entails, Dave Filoni teased a few hints of what comes after his return from exile. So whatever that is, whatever that means for him, because it's bullshit on how he was in this so-called exile and couldn't even come out until recently when Ahsoka decided to go find him, or Sabine or whatever. It's more or less Sabine, but Ahsoka went too. Speaking of Empire for our review of the year 2023, in a piece all about Thrawn's glorious comeback, the glorious comeback we already witnessed, and that was in the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn pre-Disney. He mentioned a character introduced towards the end of The Mandalorian Season 3. In this mysterious Shadow Council sequence, we set up Captain Pellaeon in The Mandalorian, and that's a character that goes with Thrawn. Well, no shit in the original lore, but you guys basically made him I wouldn't say non-existence, but he's not even a right hand to Thrawn. So in the Disney lore. So I'd love to see the two of them together, Filoni teases. Again, you changed up Pellaeon's story. So what happened to honoring these original characters? Because it's rude if you break their story, right? Plus, he points out a fellow figure from Ahsoka has long-standing conflicts with the Grand Admiral. His foil is throughout the Rebels was Hera. Now, I haven't watched Rebels all the way through. I did some research and did watch some of the content from it. So I wouldn't know. From what I'm being told, Hera was not his big foil. He was basically everybody that belonged in that group basically was, I guess. Pitting the two generals. Okay, so this is the key. So they're talking about Thrawn, and they're talking about Hera. Pitting the two generals against one another is something that I find interesting. We could be in for an almighty clash of blue versus green, and this is what Filoni states. So he's talking about in the future, pitting those two together, Hera and Thrawn, are pitting the two generals. Do you see the keyword here where he fucked up? Pitting the two generals against one another is something that I find interesting. We could, and then it goes on to say we could be in for an almighty clash of blue versus green. So basically, he's calling Thrawn a general. So there you go. And do you remember that clip that he was like talking about Padme meeting, or wishing Padme would have met his mom Shmi, and he got called out for that because they already met in episode 1. So talking about, and people say Filoni is this like gatekeeper, all knowledge of Star Wars, nerdy geek, he knows everything ins and out of Star Wars. Well, if he fucking does, then why would he call him a fucking general here? And this goes back to like the Clone Wars with Valorum. I believe it's Valorum where he mistitled him as well, or mistitled him or whatever in his character. And the fans called him out. So I'm not going to read the rest of that. I just wanted to give you guys a view of this right here, just to call out some bullshit of his, continued bullshit of his. So let's see here. Exile suggests he was sent away. He was swallowed by whales, which is stupid. Big difference. Exactly. I agree, Trayla. That wasn't a fucking exile. The true exile he was in is in the original lore where he was exiled. And that's what all the other Imperials were to have thought. But between him and Palpatine, it was a secret mission. So there is that difference there. This is just space whales carrying him away. And then Lady Sith, yes. Back. Let's see here. 1, he is a Grand Admiral. But he's the apprentice. I agree. That's what they're saying. Blue versus green sounds stupid. Hey, Laura. Hey, Holocron Library Fox. How are you doing? And then let's see here. Hello, Holocron. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to point out. So if you have watched Open Airlock Policy's recent video on Filoni, a follow-up from what we've been discussing about how Filoni is a fraud and he doesn't really belong. He doesn't really belong in Star Wars or as a leader in Star Wars. Basically, talking about all the conflicts and everything that he's caused, whether how he sees characters, how he builds characters. He can't build fucking characters anyways, but that's despite the point. This right here, when he was called out about, Padme meeting Shmi and stuff like that, I've had people say, oh, well, he can't remember everything. Well, if you're going to make him a revered Star Wars knowledgeable creator that is this like walking encyclopedia that knows Star Wars better than anybody else, then he better fucking know, especially when it's the movie. The EU, I'd still say if you're still calling him a walking encyclopedia of the EU and he brags about that, then yes, I would still question this. But when it comes to the movie, oh, fuck yeah, he should have got that shit right because I got that right. And I'm pretty sure a lot of fans did too. So, so there's no excuse to this. No excuse. So, he continues to be a hack. And he's not as knowledgeable as people think. He's not the savior of Star Wars. There's so many evidence from the past leading up to today of him and his intentions that in line with Disney Star Wars or Disney Lucasfilm. So I just wanted to point this out because I thought this was a bit hilarious, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention because he is not as knowledgeable as you think he is, or anybody. I'm not saying you in general, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in the chat agree with me on this. Agree with me on this. And I see Melissa Lord is here. What's up? Another channel member. So channel members, I will be sending out a channel member comment here on YouTube. And I want you to answer with days and time frames that work for you to do a watch party, a webinar watch party of Clone Wars 03. So I'll be sending that out later today. And we'll get that taken care of. So probably after Christmas, since, and we can all watch it together and we can discuss it, have a nice conversation about that, our favorite characters, what we feel about that, all of it, all of the fun, geeky, nerdy, stuff that we can do according to Clone Wars 03. All right, let me see who's all popping in. Dave Filoni can build characters, say just female characters. He pleasure himself. That's so gross. Regardless of age. Oh, that's so bad. Oh my God. I don't think he likes females. I don't know. It's hard to say here. But when you look at this and, he's like, oh, both generals against each other. Well, it's one male, one female. Guess who's going to win? But of course, the female's going to have to win in a sense by default. The reason why I'm saying this is because they have to get rid of Thrawn some way, somehow. We learned how he was rid of in the Thrawn trilogy by Rook, which was a clever device, I guess you can say, on how Leia convinced them to change sides and stuff, and how they realized that they were betrayed. They were led on for so many generations and betrayed by the Empire. And how Thrawn basically took the lead from where Darth Vader left off, which I thought was very interesting to even, have it as a discussion for a Star Wars topic, is how the Noghri were played, basically. And but when you look here, and this is Disney faux lore. That's what I call it now, Disney faux lore. But when you look here, when Filoni states in that video that it's wrong to get these, it's wrong to get these characters, mishandle, mistreat, and get these characters wrong. And here he can't even keep his words straight. He can't even keep his mind straight on what's going on here and what title these characters have. And so I just wanted to point that out. Let's see here. What's going on here? Doesn't matter if you're blue or green. Any Jackson fans out there? Doesn't matter if you're black or white. I get it. I got it. I got it. I see what you did there. Clever. You are very clever. Clever, my friends. All right, let's see here. And then Holocron says, browsing Filoni hard drive in Rorschach outfit spine folder named Boys. Ooh, that is bad. That is bad. Wow. So I just wanted to come on and discuss here. So I don't know if you guys ever told me, I asked the question earlier, but we had like 4 people in the chat during the time. We did discuss. So if you guys are popping in and missed the X-Wing series conversation, rewind after this is over, listen, but let me know if you read the series. If you read the series, which is your favorite book? And of course, there's 9 of them. Let me go ahead and bring this PowerPoint back up. Let me go ahead and remove and bring the PowerPoint back up so that you can see what books I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure some of you guys will already know. Window. Where it is. Oh, here we go. Show. So here we go. So here's the 9 here, or actually 10. Like I said, the Mercy Kill, came out in the year of the buyout. And so this is one of the least popular one. And I hear, both negative and positive reviews. So it's a mixed bag on Mercy Kill. That's number 10. And then you have Starfighters of Adamar. That's 9. And then you have Iron. Oh, wait, what's that next one there? I can't even see. This is what happens. So you have book 8. And then you have book 7, which is Solo Command, I believe. I can't read that. And then you have Iron Fist. That's book 6. And then book 5 is Wraith Squadron. Book 4 is Back to War. Book 3 is the Krytos Trap. Book 2 is Wedge's Gamble. And book 1, of course, is Rogue Squadron. So let me know which one is your favorite or which one resonated with you. Which one resonated with you? Or if you haven't read them, then I encourage you, once you have the time frame to do so, pick them up. I recommend pick up these books. Great, like especially if you're like, okay, I need to break away from this Jedi Sith or Jedi dark side, good, all that Force kind of thing, and you want to get into more of the war with starfighters and conflicts like that. This is a great series to get into. Doesn't fully steer away from the Force because the Force is one of the overall stories within the Star Wars lore and history. And, it doesn't fully get away from lightsabers and stuff, but it's not as prevalent because it focuses more on the conflicts and the individuals and what's going on, the story, the plots and stuff. Hey, Keck, how you doing? How are you doing? Yeah. So again, a bit of revisionist history going on here. If you guys, just to recap, for those who are tuning in right now, I have 11 beautiful souls here. They are changing. They're splitting up the series. Let me go ahead and they're calling the first 4 books the Rogue Squadron. And then now they're calling, I don't know how many books now, but they're also now going to go ahead and have the Wraith Squadron. So the Wraith Squadron, this book right here with Wedge and Akbar on here, that's book number 1 of the Wraith Squadron. So if they do that as a series, only book 1 and 2, maybe 3, maybe, are basically would be maybe what you would call Wraith Squadron, but it's not the case. Everything is X-Wing series. All these books belong in one series. It's like taking the new Jedi Order and splitting them up into different little scenarios based upon, if there's a trilogy going on with a trilogy storyline or not. And I don't favor that. Keep the original content the way it is. It worked out just fine for the way it is. And, all these people work together. These stories, are one continuous story that tie in together. Even if it's a single book or a trilogy or what have you, they all work together. So that's what's going on here. And there's the god-awful cover of the newest installment of this legacy bullshit. Let me see. I'm trying to get back to you guys. Let me see where you guys are at. And let's see here. Best to look at stories for the book, stories for the books. Online stores are slim chance they'll give you a Disney version. Yeah, I've heard that before. So you got to be careful. Make sure you have communication, especially if you're buying on eBay or Amazon. Make sure you're getting the right book without a Legends label. I do have a couple of books out of the series that has legend label. You're buying third party now. So, I mean, if you really want to add that to that, if not, then I'm going to probably sell it to an antique store, bookstore, or whatever, so someone else can pick them up. All right, you guys. So I thought I'd just make you guys aware of what's going on here. Continued revisionist history that is also going into the EU and changing how people see these stories and the series. A series that should be just left the fuck alone. And as the X-Wing series, as everybody, this is a beloved series. Everybody that I talk to, it's like one of the most beloved series within the Star Wars lore. It's like there's hardly any debate that it's not a good series. Like when you get New Jedi Order, you do have some people debating that it was too dark for them, so they didn't favor it, you know. And so this one right here, overall beloved series. Pay attention. Don't let them sprinkle, you know, put sprinkles on the shit and then serve it to you, and then you're like, oh, it has sprinkles, I'll eat it anyways. Which what I mean by this, if you guys are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Alora? I know I'm full of cuss words today. Wow. But anyways, so don't let them sprinkle on audible, like unabridged audible versions of this with Mark Thompson as a narrator for you to be okay, to pacify you. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Sprinkle on shit still makes it shit. And that's all I have to say today. Let me see what Soul Assassin has to say. OG, is it possible that they're renaming the book so they can bring back the Squadron movie they canceled? Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But it could be a possibility, which I'm against. Keck. Okay, yeah. So thank you guys again. If you guys are tuning in now, please rewind, catch the replay. Hi, you guys. And thank you guys for hanging out with me in this impromptu Cantina Nights chat. Or Cantina chat, Cantina Nights chat. What do you guys like? Before we end here, do you like it Cantina chat or Cantina Nights chat? Let me know in the comments below. Cantina chat or Cantina Nights chat? Because I do have it on the thumbnail, Cantina Nights. Cantina chat, Cantina Nights chat. So this is something a little different than what I do with coffee chat or calf chat. You know, I use Cantina as an impromptu, like, oh, let's meet up, you know, or whatever, as an impromptu live stream that is you know, kind of different. We don't really go into certain things like cringe factor and stuff like that. So I just want to know, before we leave here, Cantina chat or Cantina Nights chat? Cantina chat sounds like cheers. Let me see. That skipped on me. Okay, let me see here. Cantina chat sounds like cheers, where everyone knows your name. I remember that. Saw an article the other day where they're going to revise the books that oh yeah, they did already. And you know what? Let's talk about this. Because I did see that posted by Mark Thompson. Let me pull this up. Thank you for reminding me, because I was reading this earlier and I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about it or not. And then I then forgot about it because let me see, Mark Thompson. I put Thomas. Because I wanted to here we go. Let me see here. Because my what do you call it? My computer was messing up on me. I totally just forgot about it. And so here we go. Let me go ahead and bring this up before we close here. I knew there was another thing that I was missing. So let me see here. Share screen. And Mark Thompson. Here we go. So here it is. Let me get this little dude out of the way. Close. Oh, okay. Hopefully you guys could still see it. There we go. So Outbound Flight and then Survivor's Quest is now offered on, and here's their covers. I did critique their covers before, but Mark Thompson, let me go ahead and just make this a little bigger. So Mark Thompson basically is a narrator, which I like him as a narrator. But like I said, this is just sprinkling, putting sprinkles on shit. Do I want Survivor's Quest? Yes, I want a full and unabridged. Outbound Flight, I'm not too privy on that. That was it. I like the story behind it, but it's not my favorite. Survivor's Quest is a little above Outbound Flight, but I'm not falling for this shit. I'm using the word shit a lot today, am I? So this is it. Unabridged, Mark Thompson. Loved getting to narrate these. Timothy Zahn is a master. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And thank you for all who requested these. So here we go. So like Mark Thompson, I love him as a narrator. Don't get me wrong. But again, this is just the sprinkles on shit. Am I calling the EU shit? No. This right here, you're, like I said, don't buy Legends. Don't fall into this because you're inviting revisionist history going on here. And, just buy the books. Enjoy them. Of course, you're going to do what you want to do with your money. That's fine. I can only suggest. I stopped buying Legends label a long time ago. I used to be support Legends, show them what we want. And I essentially changed my mind because that tactic's not working. So when do we put in stop to this? Like I said, by stop supporting, looking at what they're doing. These books, these reprints of these books are taking acknowledgments out from the authors, which I think is very distasteful and dishonest. If you're going to reprint, keep everything from the original in there. If you're going to, reprint these series, keep them in their proper order. Don't reinvent them. You don't need to fix anything that's broke. So stop eating sprinkled shit, you guys. Holy shit, I'm sorry. Yeah, ruining Blue Christmas. Let me see here. CNC also dubs from Command and Control like Bridge and Space Station. So what I want to say here too is that we have many YouTubers that are giving us unabridged audiobooks on YouTube outside of what Disney's doing. Find those. And in fact, here is one. Here they are. Go to these instead. Mind you, again, I love Mark Thompson and his narration. Beautiful. But don't be fooled. Quit eating sprinkled shit. Okay, I saw an article. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I already read that one. Cantinas are always more dangerous at night or right at the high noon. And let's see here what else is going on. And again, these will be left in the comments. So if you want to come back and click on them and add them, save them to your favorites here on YouTube, feel free to. And let's see here. It's also very typical Disney, correct? We can't stop the IP holder. We can just close our wallets and walk away. Yeah, in a way that's stopping in a sense, but you have to have a huge mask full. So when you walk away and stop feeding this corporate monster, you at least are sticking true to your virtues. And I wouldn't say virtues, true to your values, your morals. Morals is a better thing. Morals. Seek product otherwise, in different ways. We need a swear counter for the chat now. I know today it's like boom. Okay, Laura, just potty mouth today. But hey, you're getting me. You're getting authentic Allura, authentic OG Star Wars. I'm not holding back. I'm not drinking liquor either. I promise there's nothing in this coffee. It's just one of those days where it's been raining off and on today. I've been just chilling here at home. I thought, okay, there's two things I want to talk about. Let's have an impromptu live stream. Here we are. And you're just getting me disgusted with what's going on today. And with Star Wars, what they're doing with original content. They can do whatever the fuck they want with their Disney lore, mind you. And I will still call it some bullshit when they're trying to change history according to what George set up and gave and stuff to them, or whatever, however you want to call it, passed on to them. So there's that. You know, I'm always going to compare and contrast. You always know I'm going to bring up some stuff, make you guys aware. This is what this channel is, but also honor what came before. And by honoring what came before is basically saying no to what they're doing to Rogue Squadron and Wraith Squadron and basically the whole of X-Wing series. So there we go. So now with that being said, I think we can close here so I can go chill and go check on, I'm babysitting a few of my daughter's fur babies while she's on a cruise. I come home from a cruise and she goes on a cruise. So I need to go ahead and feed and all of that. Shortchanged original creators, I mean. Okay. And pure coffee, Laura. No Irish, confirmed. No Irish cream in here. I'm sorry. No more sugary shit for us. It's just the Corellian ale or Corriban whiskey. There you go. Grab your Corellian ale or Corriban whiskey. There you go. There you go. Let me go ahead and remove this here. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and give you something that's fun to watch. That's not a revisionist history type thing. And let's see here. What should this be as we start winding down? And again, if you haven't become a channel member, please do so. Let's build the channel up with channel members, and so we can have more fun stuff going on. I do need to add more emojis. I know I need to do that. So I will put out an emoji request and see what you guys want as Star Wars emojis on here. So those who are channel members, share the emojis in the screen there that I have listed so far. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do this one.
The fate of the galaxy is now in your hands. With the new LEGO Star Wars Slave One, you can load Captain Solo, arm your weapon systems, man the cockpit, and take off with the most feared ship in the galaxy. But watch out for rebel ships. No matter the enemy, no matter the firepower, you control the action. With the new LEGO Star Wars collection.
All right. With that being said, you guys, have a great Tuesday. Cav Chat is Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Stay tuned for that, the topics, and we'll go back into smuggler lore. And then we will get into cringe factor. So see you guys then. And then Friday, the spacing. I believe we're now continuing on with the spacing. So see you on the spacing as well. And I shall chat with you guys later. Have a good day.
Are you sure? So be it.
Another happy landing.